Inside, you're soft.
That's not true.
Your feelings have made you weak.
No.
You care more about this.
From bullying students and ruthless masters to arrogant business rivals and hot-headed fighters, there's really no dearth of antagonists in the Cobra Kai TV show. The enmity that began between Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso in the Karate Kid movies has trickled down into the next generation in the Cobra Kai series, introducing more crafty villains and more shocking showdowns. In this video, we will introduce you to some of the most formidable baddies who took the strike first, strike hard, no mercy motto of the Cobra Kai dojo a bit too far. Some of them are guided by vengeance, and some just love to draw blood, making it a wild menagerie of Cobra Kai rogues to explore. So, if you're excited to meet these baddies, let's get going then, shall we? Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. John Kreese. There's no better way to start the list than with John Kreese, who, as many would argue, is possibly the best villain of the franchise. John Kreese's flashbacks reveal that he had some goodness in him, making him seem more human in the Cobra Kai series than the absolute monster he was in the Karate Kid movies. During his time in the military, Kreese extensively trained in the martial arts from Tang Soo Do under Captain George Turner, who himself was trained by the ruthless Kim Sun-young of South Korea. Kreese is a Vietnam War veteran, and his war-hardened nature, paired with the training, transformed him into a vicious and sometimes unhinged sensei who ran the Cobra Kai dojo with a no-mercy attitude. Kreese's ruthless training turned his students into terrifying bullies, such as Johnny Lawrence, who was set on attacking Daniel LaRusso while Daniel was being trained by Mr. Miyagi. Kreese's psychotic, aggressive persona was an absolute contrast to Mr. Miyagi's calm nature and his dedication to the true purpose of karate. John was so selfish a sensei that he didn't care about his students much, but was obsessed with winning at any cost. After his students were repeatedly defeated by Daniel and Mr. Miyagi's team-up, Kreese left the valley and disappeared. 3 decades later, this antagonist reappears in the Cobra Kai series when Johnny Lawrence reopens the dojo. This time, Kreese gets obsessed with acquiring the dojo for himself and resorts to treacherous means to become the sensei to a new generation of fighters. Guided by his old enmity with Daniel LaRusso, Kreese joins hands with his longtime friend Terry Silver to defeat the Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang rival dojos in All Valley Karate Tournament. Kreese is eventually betrayed by Terry, framed for attacking Stingray, and sent to prison, but he places the student Tory Nichols as a spy in the Cobra Kai dojo and continues to pull the strings, finally eventually escaping prison.
Situations require extreme measures.
Terry Silver. If you thought John Kreese is the biggest villain of the Cobra Kai series, wait till you meet Terry Silver. The original co-founder of Cobra Kai, along with John Kreese from the Karate Kid Part 3, Silver joined the show in Season 4 and quickly became the nastiest antagonist ever. While some other antagonists eventually take the path to redemption through the course of the franchise's storyline, Terry Silver is beyond any of that. Terry Silver is so aggressive that he eventually surpasses his mentor Kim Sun-young's violent way. This terrifying movie villain's return to the franchise is guided by his thirst for revenge against Daniel LaRusso and his greed for power, just like it was in the movies. In the movie's storyline, Terry tricked Daniel into training with him in order to exact revenge for John Kreese's humiliation. Even though he set up Daniel to go down at the tournament, the plan failed, leaving him hungry for revenge even after 30 years in the series. Terry was enticed back to the Cobra Kai dojo by Kreese, to lead a new crop of fighters. Terry does lead the students to victory through treacherous means and by even assaulting a student. After that, he goes on to stab his longtime friend Kreese in the back by getting him arrested, thus becoming yet another ruthless leader of the Cobra Kai dojo. He then proceeds to bring in the most ruthless of the senseis, including Kim Da-Eun, who trained with the same ideals as him and under the same mentor. Terry Silver cheats his way into getting Cobra Kai selected for the prestigious Taikai tournament, but his deceit is exposed by the students of Miyagi Fang Dojo. This big reveal and his defeat at the hands of his longtime enemy Daniel results in his arrest and his students eventually abandoning him.
You started this, now let's finish it.
Tory Nichols. Full of rage, this young villain is one of the most violent, dangerous fighters of Cobra Kai. Though she gets some moral improvement through the course of the series, Tory is guided by the belief that the world shows no mercy, so why should we? After learning that her current boyfriend, Miguel Diaz, still has feelings for his ex, Sam LaRusso, Tory Nichols challenges Sam to a duel and starts a karate fight in school. Though it ends with Sam one-upping Tory, the face-off resulted in a devastating clash between the students of the two contrasting dojos. Blinded by her hatred for Sam, Tory Nichols brings a spiked bracelet to the fight and wounds Sam's right arm and terrorizes her with her aggressive attacks. Tory is suspended from school for starting the fight, following which she forms a connection with John Kreese, the former sensei who carries out a coup at Cobra Kai and takes over the dojo. Under Kreese's fanatic guidance, Tory becomes one of the most corrupt and violent students, which earned her the dreaded moniker Queen Cobra. With Kreese's help, Tory pursues her vengeful attempts against Sam. She even takes Cobra Kai gang to attack the LaRussos at home, and chases Sam into the Miyagi-Do dojo with nunchucks. Seeing Tory destroy a portrait of Mr. Miyagi, Sam regains her confidence and fights back with a bow staff. Tory and Sam clash again at the final tournament, but despite Terry Silver egging her on, Tory decides to fight fair and win, eventually befriending Sam. But Tory gets heartbroken to learn that Terry Silver rigged the tournament to make Cobra Kai the winner. Mike Barnes. This terrifying teen villain from The Karate Kid Part 3 had the potential to outmatch Daniel LaRusso in the final showdown with his violent way. But sadly, Mike Barnes couldn't do it because Terry Silver asked him to keep the score same. But Mike Barnes' torturous attempt scarred Daniel for life, who regarded his fight with Barnes as the most frightening experience of his life. But thanks to Mr. Miyagi's guidance, Daniel was able to overcome his fear of facing Mike and defeated him in the 1985 All-Valley Tournament. One of Daniel's greatest foes, Mike Barnes, makes a comeback in Cobra Kai Season 5. And it is revealed that because of his immoral and unscrupulous ways in the 1985 tournament, Mike was banned from karate and hasn't practiced martial arts since then. He has renounced his old ways and makes a living by running a furniture store. But that doesn't stop him from getting violent again. Believing Daniel wrecked his store, a drunken Mike hijacks a limousine with Daniel and Johnny inside and takes them for a literal ride. In his younger days, Mike was a remarkably trained 10th degree black belt karate champion who was also a psychopathic attacker in the fighting ring. He's guilty of conducting a number of crimes under Terry Silver's command, including attempted murder, molestation threats, and vandalism. Mike was so ruthless in the 1985 tournament that he not only got himself banned, but also the Cobra Kai dojo for the longest time. Even after 30 years, Mike Barnes remains a powerful fighter in the TV show, being able to tackle the sensei sent his way at Terry Silver's house, and also being able to overpower the henchmen easily. To Karate Kid fans, Mike Barnes will always be the traumatizing opponent of Daniel LaRusso, who almost made him quit karate.
This is your enemy. Destroy it.
Kim Da-Eun. In Season 5, fans got one of the most badass villains of the franchise in the form of Kim Da-Eun. She joins the Cobra Kai dojo as a sensei, and a rather strict one at that, forcing her students to go to extreme length, even at the cost of physically hurting themselves. As a ruthless mentor, Kim forces the dojo student Tory Nichols to almost break her hand while punching stone. Kim Da-Eun is the granddaughter of Kim Sun-young, the sensei who trained John Kreese and Terry Silver in karate. Kim signed up to be the head sensei of Cobra Kai after Terry Silver promised that it would revive her family legacy, and Kim turned out to be a perfect fit for the fanatical ways of Cobra Kai. Kim is remarkably trained in the martial arts form of Tang Soo Do, having trained rigorously in her time, climbing up the tallest mountain in the mainland and practicing for hours at end. She expected a similar resilience and dedication from her students, showing no tolerance for failure and telling them, "We do not accept defeat. We do not accept surrender. Fight as if today is your last." Kim is not only ruthless, but also a sadist who hurts Tory's injured hand further before being stopped by Sam, and also tells Story that her final fighting lesson is going to be the most painful of them all. Despite being an almost invincible martial arts fighter, Kim still resorts to her granddad's ways of unfair tactics and attacking opponents when they're not ready. Eli Hawk Moskowitz. This tattoo-bearing mohawk sporting chap, nicknamed Hawk, went from being a shy and bullied kid to a baddie that did some terrible thing because of newfound power and greed. But he again returned to his former self by the end of Season 3 because Eli finally joined the Miyagi-Do dojo and learned to conquer his fears. But before that, Eli was one of the most celebrated students of Johnny Lawrence's Cobra Kai's dojo, other than Miguel Diaz. He initially joined the dojo to fight back against the harassment he was subjected to, and connected with Cobra Kai's strike first, strike hard, no mercy motto so well that he took it to the extremes and even managed to impress John Kreese, the former ruthless sensei who took back the Cobra Kai dojo. During his villainous stint, Eli wanted to attack his longtime friend Dimitri for giving an unfavorable review, throw out Robbie Keane from the dojo, get back at the Miyagi-Do dojo for Miguel's wounds, and get revenge from his school bully Brooks. Bullying, extortion, harassment, theft, and trespassing. Eli has done it all while he was with Cobra Kai. But as with most other Cobra Kai baddies, he too realizes the wrongful ways of Kreese and ditches the dojo in favor of Miyagi-Do karate. With this complicated story arc, Eli becomes a prominent tritagonist of the show. Shawn Payne. This character is a recurring antagonist, one who relentlessly bullies the protagonist, Robbie Keane, during juvenile detention. Shawn is portrayed as a hot-headed and aggressive bully who isn't afraid to fight anyone. Shawn doesn't stand down, even when a person is gravely hurt, such as when he bruised Robbie's eye by shoving him into a locker. It appears sometimes Shawn would attack just for fun, like when he targeted an innocent chap who was playing cards and randomly decided to bully Robbie just because he looked weak and vulnerable. Inside the correctional center, Shawn vandalizes Robbie's bed, disrupts his computer time, and threatens to keep him in check. Shawn was sentenced to the correctional center after he attacked the person who targeted his little brother, Kenny. It is suggested that Shawn turned into a bully himself during his time in the juvenile detention center. He deliberately starts traumatizing the new entrant, Robbie, by mocking his relationship with his dad, Johnny Lawrence, and girlfriend, Sam, and challenges him to a fight. With no formal training in karate, Shawn holds Robbie in a headlock and punches him powerfully, enough to damage Robbie's ribs. But later, Robbie fights Shawn again and defeats him amidst the loud cheering of the inmates. When the prison security breaks up their fight, neither of them snitches on each other, thus signaling a peace treaty of sorts. Witnessing Robbie's Miyagi-Do karate skills, Shawn later asks his brother Kenny to learn fighting from Robbie.
Bitch, don't you know I know karate?
Tyler Park. This charming high school meanie will remind one of the young Johnny Lawrence from 1984's Karate Kid movie. Kyler enjoys a wealthy lifestyle, but has an abusive dad. He's an athletic student who has a natural flair for karate, and most significantly, Kyler is an absolute bully who targets those weaker in status and less popular than him. Kyler takes particular interest in Miguel Diaz and harasses him to such an extent in school, that Miguel is prompted to learn karate in order to defend himself. Even during his face-off with a karate-trained Miguel, Kyler continues to taunt him and rile him up, but gets defeated in the end. Kyler also attempts to get physically intimate with Daniel's daughter, Sam, several times, but when she rejects his advances, Kyler thinks the rejection justifies assaulting Sam. Kyler was the strongest fighter in his army army of bullies, using wrestling techniques and grappling moves to take down or choke his enemy. When he joined the Cobra Kai, Kyler's bullying attitude allowed him to adapt to the dojo's ruthless training ideal. Kyler Park eventually sharpened his karate strikes, but he was easily defeated by more skilled opponents such as Johnny Lawrence and Miguel. A foul encounter with Kyler is the reason that Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso's long-term enmity is revived again in season 1 of the show.
Well, maybe it's time you found out.
Anthony LaRusso. Daniel's son, Anthony LaRusso, is the reason that Kenny joined the Cobra Kai and quickly connected with its ruthless fighting ideal. For the first 3 seasons, Anthony was just a supporting character appearing in the background, but in the 4th season, he turns out to be a major bully who targeted Kenny in middle school. Unlike his sister Sam, Anthony didn't receive any karate training and grows up as a spoiled brat who eventually befriends a group of bullies in school. But he enjoys a fake reputation of being good at karate, though in reality, he's only ever tried karate moves in video games. When he singles out Kenny in school, his friends urge him to beat up Kenny, but Anthony avoids the situations by saying his moves would give Kenny brain damage. When Kenny accidentally breaks Anthony's phone, his friends beat him up, and Anthony continues to torture him with cyberbullying, flooding his locker with milk and stealing his clothes. Anthony does regret his actions against Kenny sometimes, but his reputation amongst his friends doesn't let him stop bullying Kenny. He even lies to his father about being harassed in school, prompting Daniel to teach him Miyagi-Do methods, but he shows no real interest in karate. So after Kenny joins Cobra Kai and beats Anthony up in the locker room, he decides to sign up for Miyagi-Do Dojo to be able to defend himself.
Patriot Tom Cole here. When I'm not busy fighting.
Tom Cole and Daniel's rivalry on the show leads to one of the funniest scenes in season 1, the boba tea sequence. Cole is the arrogant rival of Daniel's car business in the valley, and an annoying antagonist on the show. Tom Cole appears in the 1st and 3rd seasons as Daniel's pompous business competitor, one who harasses Daniel and demeans his dealership, LaRusso Auto, when their billboard gets destroyed. He's brash and conceited and takes great pleasure in making fun of Daniel, especially his karate-related past. "You're not really a karate guy," Cole tells Daniel at his showroom, insulting Daniel's karate legacy in front of a room full of people, prompting Daniel to karate kick the boba tea out of his hand. He constantly riles up Daniel and also steals one of their best employees for his own showroom. Tom also tries to weaken Daniel's business by signing a deal with a long-term international client of Daniel's business and convincing them to sever ties with LaRusso Auto. Tom's biggest antagonizing move was attempting to take over LaRusso Auto when Daniel's business was going through a hard time. Mitch's sudden switch to the villainous side in season 5 is the most interesting thing that's happened in this character on the show. Mitch is a fierce martial arts fighter who joins the Cobra Kai and connects with its no mercy ideology in almost no time, which essentially turns him into a bully. But unfortunately for Mitch, his position in the Cobra Kai dojo is replaced by a fresh recruit, aka Kyler Park, after Mitch loses to the new joinee. Mitch not only gets kicked out of the dojo, but also loses all his former friends, which prompts him to eventually join the Eagle Fang. In this dojo, the tables turn for Mitch, and he gets constantly bullied by the fellow student, and also gets called a derogatory nickname, Piss Brief. Mitch didn't want to leave Cobra Kai in the first place, and when the bullying at Eagle Fang got too much, he resorted to betrayal. Mitch started snitching for his former rival Tyler Park for the Cobra Kai dojo, eventually revealing his betrayal to the Eagle Fang karate team. In terms of fighting prowess, Mitchell is stronger than regular fighters, but can be one-upped by those more skilled than him. During his time in Cobra Kai, Mitch did sharpen his striking skills, but he is an aggressive, impulsive fighter, which makes his offense reckless, making it easy to outthink him in the fight. Marvelous verdict. So, folks, that's our pick of some of the baddest, meanest villains from the Cobra Kai franchise. While some of these baddies come with complex backstories, some also choose to be pure evil just for fun. Tell us which one you think is the most formidable of them all. Is it Terry Silver, John Kreese, or Kim Da-Eun? or Tory Nichols? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We promise to come back with more Cobra Kai videos. Till then, keep practicing your karate strikes and nunchuk skills, and if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone, see you super soon.